come on. We love it.
We can, and you don't have to do the
No,
whole
don't
thing.
you get up there and sing. He can bitch all he wants. He knows how this goes.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Leah Hollingshead, and today we will be performing No Word from Tom, I Go to Him, from The Rake's Progress. No word from Tom. Has love no voice? Can love not keep a Maytime vow in cities? Fades it as the rose cut for rich display? Forgot. But no, to weep is not enough. He needs my help. Love hears, love knows, love answers him across the silent miles and goes. Quietly night, find him and caress, may thou quiet find his heart, although it be unkind, nor may it be confess. My father, can I desert him, and his devotion for a love who has deserted me? No, my father has strength of purpose, while Tom is weak and needs the comfort of a helping hand. Oh God, protect dear Tom, support my father, and strengthen my resolve. I go to him. Love cannot falter, cannot desert.
Fantastic. Great. So many great.
Woo!
How'd you feel?
I feel good for it being the first time that I've done
performed a
8
whole
minutes.
that's a lot.
However, it's long.
It's very long, but
So
it's
long.
very good. And
Yeah.
it's very I don't want to say right because but it's very well put together. Like the rhythms are right, the pitches are right, the offbeats are right. Like it's a very connected, very well done aria, and a great aria for you. Great. I'm not going to do too much because that was a lot, and I know what your goal was to sing. So yay, you did it. Check. You know what I mean? Everything came out. It was great. I want you to pay attention. I don't know if you guys noticed. Did you notice a lot? Tell me about her posture. Did anybody notice one prevailing move that Leah likes to do? Yeah. It's like everything is that.
Yeah.
And if it didn't mess up your vocal quality, I don't care. I mean, it doesn't. If it meant something, I could care less. Sing on your head. I don't care. But what it's doing, it's crunching. You don't have anywhere to store your air. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. And
kind
it's
of-
totally a nerves, just
It
like
is a
weird,
total nerve
like
hack.
fight or flight.
Exactly. I know. Because you stand really well, but as soon as you start to sing, you go, ooh, and it's just cramming all your instruments.
Yeah.
So I want you to just think as you keep practicing this, protect this portion of your life.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be rigid, it doesn't have to be hard, but this is your instrument, this is your flute, this is your violin, this is your tuba. This is what needs to stay in the shape of you.
Yeah.
And I loved all the acting, it was all exactly right. Just be careful that your starting kind of collapsed. And then you grow into it, which is quite impressive. But if you would already start in this kind of growth position, that lower world and that middle wouldn't get too, that's why you close your jaw. It's in compensation for, if she's got all this air, how do I put that? She has a habit of going like a really small thing here. And I think it's because you're trying to make this, because you don't have any air left.
Yeah, so I'm trying to like push the sound. I'm like, maybe
Yeah,
the space is
let's make this
smaller.
small, and I'm gonna
Yeah.
squeeze that sound out. But if you were already here, no word from Tom, then you're already, can you just play?
Yeah.
I just want you to think about, start here, protect this.
Yeah.
Mostly this has to stay awake and not curled in. It's just, there's nowhere for your spleen to go if it doesn't have this. So just start. I don't want you to do all of it, 'cause we have to.
No word from Tom. Has love no voice?
Yes, your belly goes out.
Can love not keep a Maytime vow in cities? Fades it as a rose cut for a rich display.
Better. Do you feel that there's nothing is in the way of your artistry now?
Now I'm not like pushing from
There's
my
no pushing.
Yeah.
Great. And we'll see.
I have a question to ask you.
Yeah.
Aria and like musical
Lot of
theater, because I
fading.
feel like the words are so like Crispin Core like musical theater, but it's like operatic. So it's like kind of like in that era of like musical theater-y and opera-y era.
Well, it's definitely Stravinsky wrote this in 20th century. It is Stravinsky.
Oh my
Yeah,
god.
I know. You didn't know it. And he wrote it kind of in a style of like a Baroque opera. Like if you saw the whole show, it's about, this is very, devil comes in, takes the tenor away who wants to be famous but is in love with the town girl. Devil takes him to the big city, shows him all the sins, and this is how you're gonna grow and blah, blah, blah. And basically, when time comes to pay the devil, he ends up beating the devil, but the devil makes him crazy, and so Anne Trulove, that's her character name. She is the embodiment of female beautiful love. Then he meets Mother Goose, who is the head of a brothel, and he's supposed to sleep with her. Then not me only, but one of my big roles is Baba the Turk, who is a bearded lady, who I'm famous, and so the devil is like, go marry Baba the Turk, you will be famous. So you know how to have sex, you know how to get money, and then he goes and gets rich, because he invents a bread machine that doesn't really work. But anyway, and loses all of his money. But Anne Trulove is that. But it's written in a style where it's sort of harpsichord, you have some recitative, then you have a slow part of the aria, and then you have a fast part of the aria. It's very Baroque in character, but it's not. It's an awesome, great opera. Great role.
I think Schwarzkopf did it originally, didn't she?
Yes.
Which is so
It's
weird.
so
to me.
weird. I know.
I
It's
can't
totally
fathom,
weird.
but
But it was very cool. All right, next. Yay! Next. Who's next? Who else is singing? Oh, right, Tiana's singing.
I think Bob the Turk's the best part of the whole
Well, Turtle Low.
show. I mean, it's not my
She's
word.
got great. I don't have any big mezzos. If I had a big mezzo,
Swipe.
they'd learn Bob the Turk. You might sing Bob the Turk if I can get your middle fixed. But
Me?
yeah, you're a more Bob the Turk sound. Yeah. Okay.
I thought you were putting it in the call.
No, you're not. You know, but
Vaishnavi.
yeah, Vaishnavi.
Yes, Vaishnavi.
That third syllable.
Vaishnavi.
Vaishnavi.
Yes, there you go. That's it.
You
That's
just
it.
have to point it.
Yes.
Yes, Tiana, what are you gonna say?
My name is Diana Velasquez, and I'm going to be performing Zwagnum by Strauss.
Good. Can you do that one more time? And a little louder.
Hello, my name is Diana Velasquez, and I will be performing Zwagnum by Strauss.
Good. You feel good, relieved, scared. I wish I could have done that better.
The last two.
Last couple, yeah. Just you just kind of lost the bottom connection and everything. Really beautiful. She's got such a beautiful, clear mezzo sound, which
Yeah, it's so
I
dark.
adore.
Yeah, it's so
Because
dark.
a lot of times, mezzo sounds, especially, they don't. It's hard. They're hard. They're hard. And especially in choral situations, it's really hard to find that clear mezzo sound because there is a tendency to make it, as you try to blend, if you don't really know how to navigate that next area, it can get woofy and it gets a little weird,
Yeah.
right?
Mm-hmm.
By Shmi. It's, and so, but you don't have that, so I love that. Did you hear that kind of just one sound?
Yeah,
all the
it's
way?
like my dream. It's like I've always wanted. I'm just like, what?
It's hard, but great job. Good. What's the song about?
Can I be so honest with you?
I can always be honest because you're going to tell me you have no idea. Because don't think I don't know. Basically, Dwagnum is like, thanks. I think it's a big ode to like, God, how can what would you say, Rick? Like
Or ask our German.
oh yeah,
Yeah.
our resident German.
Yeah. So I would say in some parts maybe you pronounce some words in a different way. So maybe I get it. So it's difficult to learn based on a new language because then the vowels or how you try to sing the words you have to sing can have a slightly difference to the original language. So therefore.
Come on up. Come on, Marcel. Come on in, our little German resident. I love it.
So let me ask you a question. What's the
Yeah.
difference between, for example, Zwagnum and Widmung? What's the difference? I mean, they both have a sense of dedication. You know,
Where is it? Where is it?
So I.
Zwagnum
Ah.
and Widmung. What's the difference language-wise?
So basically I would say
Is this more devotional than Widmung,
So-
for example?
Widmung is more higher in the top, I would say. It's more like academically, more like
Posher.
it's
Posher?
Maybe,
Oh,
yeah.
Yeah.
I see. Okay.
so in this
That's this kind of
Zwagnum-
dedication. This
Yeah.
is more like.
Yeah, this is- yeah.
Ah, got it. Okay.
Yeah.
Yes. Good. I want you. Oh gosh, wow. All the things running in my head. What you starting at?
Okay.
Pay attention to your German.
Of course. Yeah. Here we go.
Ja, du weißt es, deine Seele, dass ich fern von dir ewig ferne. Immer macht die Herzen krank.
Good. You can stop right there. Tell me about that. Tell me.
So I would say when it comes to the umlaut, so mich quäle, Liebe macht die Herzen krank. And I would say when you sing the umlaut, then you try more like maybe you can repeat after me. Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
So you don't have that letter in your alphabet, therefore it's quite different. Yeah.
But listen how bright his voice
They're
is.
so.
I mean, people think Germans are
It's
like this,
not
and
heavy.
I mean, his
not
voice is
at
so
all.
bright.
Can you just read this poem for us?
Okay.
Listen to his German and where it sits in his mouth.
Just read, right?
Yeah, just read it.
Ja, du weißt es, teure Seele, dass ich fern von dir mich quäle. Liebe macht die Herzen krank, habe Dank. So this was
What do you think about that?
very
It's
German.
like, it's literally what people don't think, like, that's how, like, Hindi should sound. Like, it should, like, be here. It should not, like, if you
Doesn't
hear,
go in the back.
if
Yeah.
you should see, world, like, 70, like, seven decade famous singer who fortunately passed in February. She has like, they say she's the queen of singing, and her voice, like, it sounds like, that's how like the Hindi should sound. It sounds so like up here and light.
Yes.
But like so many people, we don't sing in like South Indians. That's the issue of us. We keep it all like.
Low. I think Americans do too. We talk low on our thing.
Like,
We don't talk up here where it's right there.
That's the issue of like Indian classical singers, like because naturally you sing much lower. Naturally your range is like really low for Indian classical.
Right. So
So
our
it's
job
like-
is to keep it right. That's when I talk about don't let it go below the tongue. Don't let the vowels sit any lower and right there. Don't do it in your throat. Do it one more time with his kind of timbre in your head. Better. Everybody's
Oh yeah, it's so
nodding.
huge difference. Yeah.
And so it's just about giving yourself what did it feel like for you?
And it felt like more like up.
Yes. That's why we pick on diction so much. Is because if it doesn't have, if the song you're singing is written in German, that's the sound that you need to have. It's not an American German. Like I can say the words, but it would be like, ja, du weißt nicht. It would be kind of muddy if I was just talking, like I talk in American. But if I talk, ja, du weißt nicht, ja, I don't know what the words are. It's right there. Italian does that as well. French as well. Everything sits right in that pocket of the sound, which is where all that diction I keep busting your ass is trying to get you to do
I
that.
think that was pretty good.
Great.
So I can feel it. So the only thing what I can recommend to you is maybe that you translate the German into English, that you can deep dive into the lyrics, that you can feel it, what you're singing, because actually it's very sad.
Exactly. It's like,
like-
say, translate
And
that.
I
Just the first thing.
Yes, you know, trustful soul, that I far from you, blame myself, love makes my heart ill, and be thankful. So, like that.
Yeah. It could even just be, I'm heartbroken, but I've got to be grateful. Or it could be anything you want it to be, but the song is not a happy song.
It's like almost before you start crying.
Yeah.
And particularly this.
Yeah, exactly. Do it one more time, just the first verse. We're just kind of playing around with you a little bit today.
Like I'm about to cry.
Yeah, just, yes, do that a little bit, and then think about, make the words a little heavy, a little more, just deeper and harder to get out of your mouth, like, a little heavy. Great.
Oh my god.
I got
Now, how did you feel?
I felt sad.
Yes.
I mean, that's what we all got too. The trick now, how did you feel technically?
I felt like that was better than all the other times I've done them with you.
Good. Agreed. Like to find that, it's like I could have told her to sing, she needs her own emotion. Whatever her emotion is, how she experiences sadness, or she experiences pain or grief or whatever, is gonna be so like, it's gonna go through her filter. even though it's universal that we feel sad, but some people don't like to be sad. Some people are afraid to be sad. Some people love to be sad. And so, it just depends on how you filter it out of your body. But then, when you have an emotion that you're trying to express, even if you don't know exactly every single word, it tells your technique how to play the instrument. Does that make sense? Instead of saying like, okay, play that darker, play that heavier, play that whatever, your emotion will color whatever the instrument that we have, it will color that. So keep everybody really pay attention to what the emotion of your songs are, because they will color the voice in a way that your brain can't tell it to do. Like it can't pick it apart and say, well, you're playing the tongue this way, and this needs to be this. It doesn't matter. Your brain needs, your imagination and your artistry is what needs to come through. That's fantastic. Thank you.
He reminds me of my friend from back in my hometown.
Oh yeah.
She has a really she's a hardcore outro. Think of a jazz outro.
Yeah.
Ella Fitzgerald.
Yeah.
That is her voice, but you can't tell that she's changing one bit.
Right.
But
And that's
also
the
you
plan.
have to really focus if you can change.
Yeah.
You can't even tell.
Wow. Okay.
I would say more because it's
Nicole, come on. We're gonna do a little playing with the thing with Nicole.
and it would emphasize
As
it.
soon as our
It's
turn
like-
comes up.
Have you always
I
been
think Rick's very excited.
Well, no, it's just, there's some curious words in this one, so,
Thank you, Marcel.
So Marcel, why do you have a French name?
My parents decided to get me a French name, and all of my brothers, because the older brother is named Daniel, and my younger brother André. And myself there, I don't know.
You're being
just
fancy.
decided.
You're
just
trying to be
decided,
fancy.
yeah.
Do this
Yeah.
two pages.
I sing in I don't know 4 to 6
Anyone with
already.
4 score, how do you get 2 pages? Can you even do 2 pages on 4 score?
You can.
No.
It doesn't matter.
Oh, I don't know, maybe.
Hard.
I'm sure you played this before.
Yeah. We're gonna stop and start a little bit too.
Okay.
Because Nicole, well, just say, before I don't wanna, you do you for a minute. Then I'll judge it.
Alright. Good afternoon, my name is Nicole Huff, and today we will be performing Quando Menvo from La Bohème by Puccini.
Okay, get the towel out. Everybody remember that sound, okay? Sing this verse with the towel.
In my mouth?
Oh yeah.
I was trying not to cry so hard.
You did almost good.
Okay.
Sing into the towel, buzz the towel all the time. Buzz There you go. Good. Good. Okay. What did everybody hear?
That
Yeah.
old I remember when I hear old
Uh-huh.
black and white recordings. That's kind of how I think of their voice are literally just like that. That like
Probably have
soft-
because of recording.
Recording,
technology.
but like it's like,
Right,
soft,
right, right,
I
right.
can tell it's soft. It's like nice and it's like soft and
Yes.
like smooth.
Good. Anybody else? Have a Lizzie.
You can tell where the placement's gonna be when you hear the buzzing, because the buzzing is bringing it forward.
Yes.
Yeah.
If you were holding it back, it wouldn't have that same buzz, so I think you were successful. And whatever you translate that from like going out, it's gonna.
Yeah, it's gonna be huge.
And you have more control over your high notes, I think.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you keep it buzzing.
I know, it's.
Now the thing is, the feeling and the comfort zone that Nicole lives in with her voice at the moment is gonna fight her a lot because she's very used to this muscle, that tongue root is very close to her larynx, and so it's kind of short, and so everything kind of gets stuck right there, and she wants a bigger sound. So she pushes more air. So there's too much air, but there's not enough space. So start with it in your mouth and then take it out after the first couple of notes, okay?
Okay. Well, the first couple of notes are like,
Well, a couple of words.
Okay.
Condom and gold. Take it out there. You hear that? Don't let it fall back. Good. Yes. Tell me about that. What did you feel, Nicole?
less grabby.
Yes.
More
Good.
space and more bell.
Yes.
More
So
bell.
more this way.
Yeah,
Like-
everything was coming out more instead of.
Instead of getting trapped in your throat. Yeah, Lizzie.
It gave her a lot of like really great control also with the descending notes.
Yes.
Keeping those like pushed forward as well. They were like still in that same placement instead of like falling back as you go down.
Yes. Which is good that you hear that, Lizzie.
Yeah, I know. That's
Yeah, exactly. I mean, Lizzie has a very
I know
simple,
how
and it's
to
very,
help
very
people.
easy trap to get into. Because you feel this like, and you want to make that same feeling. But it's this way. So everything is in front of the waterfall of this instrument. It goes there. It takes more support and a lot of freedom. Do the last verse and see how you do. Keep the, or you can do the da da da. Yeah, keep
Oh,
whatever.
the low parts?
Yeah.
Okay.
With keep that towel handy. Buzz it. I don't hear that. I try again. I should be able to hear the buzz. Good. Good. Now do the second verse of that.
Okay.
Take it away.
Oh, that fell out.
It's alright, keep going.
So, wait,
Start with the towel, take it out. And, good. Do you feel that?
Yes.
Oh, it's time. Not, I would never know you sing that. But, one more time from be more elastic in your mouth. Good. Better.
video and then it got out. And
Yep.
I tried to get back on.
Anytime you get really stuck and you're like, you're in it, there's nowhere to go. Find a time when you can push your belly out, because that will stabilize this again so that it can release.
Okay.
Okay? Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, that makes sense.
Is it because the Daisy-O goes down?
Yes.
Yeah, I tried to.
Daisy!
Yeah. It needs to go forward.
Daisy! You know what I mean? But it's not zero. Let this help you ground
Okay.
that lower note.
Where do you?
From Daisy.
Okay, let's see.
Let it out. Yes. Don't create vibrato.
Okay.
Okay? Another thing that she likes to do is create vibrato because it doesn't help. Trust me. It doesn't help you do anything. Vibrato is a naturally occurring phenomenon that happens when the air moves through the world unimpeded. That's all that vibrato does, okay? If you have straight tone, you're doing something to change the air column. That's all that's happening in straight tone. But you're not letting anything happen. Where were we?
Felice or
I mean, oh, was it in this? Felice.
That's fine. Yeah. It starts to shake right there.
Okay.
It's all that. Think of it more straight tone than you like to sing.
Okay.
Okay? Right there.
From the
Felice.
the last one?
Yeah.
Okay.
Now do it with your support. Do it with that.
Okay.
Make it a little bit more. It has to get out of your mouth.
Okay. Okay. I'll just think out of my mouth.
Just think out of your mouth.
You want me to start with this?
Yes. See how it vibrates lower? It's mine. Oh, I didn't break my costume. That's it here. That's not anywhere near here.
Okay.
You have to shove it into this
Okay.
claw. You're trapping your air here. It has to spin
Okay.
right there, out of your mouth. Okay, one more time. Yeah! Yeah! That's okay, do that one more time. Yeah! Tell me about that. Tell me all what you guys hear.
Your teeth buzz?
Yeah, no, I need to show my teeth.
You do have to show your teeth a little bit.
Yeah, because I don't know. Because when you said more forward, I just started showing my teeth.
Yes, that teeth help. That like bulldog. Absolutely. I mean, it helps. Think about your lips as like a little embouchure out into the world. Like it's a little. It's not. It doesn't hold anything in. It lets everything out. It like shows them the way. Good. Show me the way to go home, man. Show. So just do. Never stop this water wheel of sound.
Okay.
Oh, you're just along for the ride on it.
Okay. Can we start with this?
Yes, please.
Okay.
Tula,
Really?
where do you feel it? You have to know. I know. Buzz the towel. Do you guys hear the difference between the one?
Yeah.
One doesn't resonate
Yeah.
only in the towel. Only buzz the towel. Don't let it buzz
I
in the
feel
throat.
it down here though.
That- I
Whenever
know.
you say I'm buzzing in the
Do
towel,
it again.
so I'm a little confused.
Okay, do it again. Higher than that.
I still feel it here.
That's okay. It's gonna completely released yet. You're you already come in with kind of an artificial, the onset needs to be cleaner.
Okay.
Don't put this in your resume. Ooh, that's very old opera thought. Ooh, we don't sing like that anymore. And they never really sang that way anyway. It's the recording that you hear that sounds like what you're talking about. It's not what they sounded like in real life, I promise you. It has to go siren. You just siren out something. All of us just siren. Woo! All that is all just one big airflow. All you're doing is finding that. It's like the little Nemo, Finding Nemo air current. Get into the air current, and then it will just go wherever you want it to go. One more time and then finish up. That one. Good. Do that one more time. That'd be so good. And then it fell out. It has to fall that.
Yeah, I felt it. Like, oh.
Good. Do that upload. Do that up, whatever that is. Yeah. Better.
That's so hard.
Yay! It is hard. It's got to be hard. If it wasn't hard, you wouldn't be able to do it. You wouldn't do it.
Okay.
It's like, it's no crying in baseball. It's supposed to be hard.
Yeah.
And it's not that it's hard, it's complicated.
That turn just wants to go back.
And I know.
Yeah.
Do it one more time and then finish it.
I feel
Are
it.
you
I can
singing?
like, I can feel it.
Oh, okay, all
I
right,
know
never mind.
that part.
Okay, never mind,
It's
never
in
mind.
habit.
That's right.
Right here. Really close. That was good. And I just want to send out a huge, like, it's very vulnerable and very hard to get up here and try to screw up in front of 20 people.
Yeah.
So props to you. It's really hard, but it's gonna be. You have such a massive voice in there. It's trapped, and I want it out. I want her out. And I have a feeling. We're gonna have a little process of you singing a little. The sound is gonna feel lighter than you think it's gonna be.
Okay.
Okay. Don't be afraid of that, because yes. Don't be afraid, because that sound's gonna come out a little pingier, a little higher, and a little more forward and less weight than your body and brain is used to. So it's gonna fight you and say, like, that's too high, that's too thin, your larynx is too high, this sucks, it's ugly. You're gonna have all that narrative going on. I want to acknowledge it totally, because it's there and it's gonna block you. It's how our bodies work and our brain work. So just keep reminding that we're just doing different things. We're just trying something different. You can always go back to singing like you did before. It's totally fine. But I have a feeling once you lock into the ease of this kind of elevator kind of voice that just naturally goes up and down, you're gonna be able to fill it in with all your natural colors. But at the moment, your base, like sugar cookie, like your plain, flour, eggs, yeast,
needs some M&Ms.
water. What else is in there? You don't get to put M&Ms in until you get a good cookie. And then you can put M&Ms, but you don't know what your cookie is yet. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
It's kind of a mishmash of cookies. But you need one voice that then you can add M&Ms, Mexican spice. You can like add all the fun ingredients
Like
after you know this is the ingredients of a fantastic cookie. Then you'll know what goes into it. Does that make sense?
Yes.
That's kind of the process. So good job. Thank you so much. Good job. Anybody have any questions, thoughts, aha moments, anything?
Remind me of how I use.
Marcel, what did you think of all of this?
I have a lot of aha moments.
Did you?
But I think it's good. So it's nice to hear different kind of sounds because I can compare it to my own. So I think it's good.
Yeah, I think it's great.
It's nice. And if you all hear my voice and how I sing or behave, then it's completely different.
But
Sing
so
what
the
you
same.
do, but it's
Yeah.
kind of the same base. So it's maybe a different variety of singing, but it's all based in one.
Yeah,
So it's
And that's-
all mainly this.
all the mechanism is still the same. Even though he's like, Mama, just killed a man. I love it. And if you hear that coming from my studio, that's what's happening. I'm teaching Marcel. Like we were doing Candle on the Wind the other day, like the Elton John thing. It's not going to sound like a mama. But his instrument, this is all still looks like a tuba. It's the same instrument. It's just the air gets blown a little different, the mouth, the words are different, they're just different timbre that you're creating. But as long as he keeps this free, keeps that tongue in the same position, we like all those things, then he can sing that metal, kind of heavier metal stuff without hurting anything. And it's just, that sound. But he's gonna sing for you, and it's gonna be fantastic. It's gonna be really fun.
Alrighty.
All right, anybody else have any more questions, thoughts, concerns? Yes, Leah.
I will say something cool is
Yeah.
when you realize, like maybe the order of operations of your bad habits, if that makes sense. Because that was a realization I had today that I've been so focused on, oh, my mouth closes sometimes, so I gotta not close my mouth. But actually today it was this interesting realization that me doing this with my posture is kind of leading to that.
Yeah.
So if I can really go back to this base and get that straightened out, it'll actually,
Facilitate, yes.
it'll solve a lot of the other problems.
Exactly, because all the habits that we all have, I have them too. I mean, hands down, same things that you guys deal with, I deal with. The bad habits come because we're trying to compensate for a bad instrument, basically. We're trying to make it kind of work when this isn't working, or you don't know how this works, you don't have the information. And so when you get into choir, which is most where everybody kind of got their musical beginnings, was sort of in choral program, if you don't know how to lighten your voice but still stay on your air, you can put your voice way back here and then you get really tired and you can't, but it facilitates the same, unless you have a really great choral director that knows how to teach, that understands the mechanism of the voice. They're just going to tell you to make a warmer vowel. Darker vowels, more ooh. That's not what they mean. They mean, ew, don't do that. Ew, but they don't mean no here. And so all of us have gotten these habits trying to create a sound that we don't really know how to create. And so our body's just kind of like, well, sing it that way. That seems to work. And that's the same thing with you. You have a habit of this, and so you now have a habit to compensate there. So what happens when you take away that first domino? How does it let the rest of the dominoes stack up instead of it just goes in the same thing? Great job, everybody. Thank you. I love seeing all of you.
Yeah.
Yay! All right.
Like, that's how I felt actually, like when I was knowing that, okay, like I was going through when I was developing the